Today on Sports Card Investor, it's some of my favorite interviews from our virtual holiday card show. I'm talking cards with Peter from SGC Grading, Ty from Chasing Cardboard, Dustin, the sports card dad, and Stephanie from MamaBreaks. Hey, Peter, how you doing? Happy holidays.
I'm doing great, Jeff. Thanks for having me. Happy holidays.
Now, are you still at work? Are you still there working late tonight?
I am. I'm still at the office. Tend to work late, not this late, but happy to do so.
Well, we appreciate you grinding. I guess you got to be grinding because SGC Grading, every time I look at one of these gem rate reports, which shows how many cards are being graded with every grading company, every time I see one of these, it seems like you guys are outputting more and more cards every month and continue to climb that board of the top grading companies.
Yeah, I appreciate it. Something we love seeing as well. In fact, it's a lot of work goes into that. Obviously, processing that many cards is not easy, and especially at SGC, we really pride ourselves on the quality of the product. We take our craft very seriously. So when you're doing that kind of volume, there's certainly a lot that goes into it. That's for sure. Things are great right now.
How many cards are you grading now on a monthly basis?
Well, I could tell you today we graded 6,629 cards were graded and shipped to our collectors. That's
a lot of cards. In a single day, you graded 6,629 cards. No wonder you're at the office late, Peter. That's a lot of cards. How many people do you have on your team now? What is the size of the operation to have to do this?
We have a touch under 170 employees, but we are hiring very aggressively currently. Anytime we're looking to do anything that we think may bring in more cards, we respond equally by growing the team preemptively, because the one thing that we refuse to sacrifice, no matter kind of which direction we want to take things, is the service of the product. Obviously, SGC's turnaround time is one of the things that really set us apart. And no matter what we do, if it means more cards, it means more cards out the door, or turnaround time is moving in the wrong direction.
What is the turnaround time now? If someone hasn't graded with SGC before and they go on your website tonight and submit a grading order, what kind of turnaround can they expect?
They will be expecting about a 5.5 business day turnaround time. I can assure everyone that we want that down to 1 business day. It's easier said than done, but I think 5.5 business days for $15 a card we're very proud to be offering what we are to the hobby.
That's pretty incredible, because normally when you hear a grading company say our turnaround time is 5.5, you assume the next word is months, because that's kind of what we've been accustomed to. 5.5 months, or 3 months, or 4 months, or 6 months turnaround time for grading, right? Not 5.5 business days. Is that what you consider maybe your key differentiator to be? How quick you're able to turn cards around for people who send them in?
Yeah, I think there's a lot of differentiators, that obviously being probably the most blatant and out front for all to see. I mean, everything from the look of our product itself, with obviously the black insert and the holder, it really allows us to kind of frame up each card based on that card shape and size. And as we all know, there are a lot of shapes and size in trading cards, not only on the vintage side of things, but today, we have all kinds of die cuts and, kind of celebratory sets of the past. So I think the holder as well. I think what I'm most proud of is just who we are as a team. I can say from firsthand experience, I've worked with a really tight group of people who have really built this place from the ground up. And I'm extremely proud of the team that we've put together, and overall just the way we handle our business. Although, I myself may be a little more front facing, there's a massive team here that doesn't always get the public, I guess, love that they deserve. I'm merely representing the amazing group of people that, as I said, just got out 6,629 cards today. So I think overall what SGC stands for in the hobby, the way that we go about our business, the trust that we take so seriously from collectors, that's what means the most to us. And I think that when choosing a grading company, that really, really matters, because at the end of the day, we're all just kind of referees judging the game that you all, the collectors, are playing. And I think you want to know kind of who your referee is, and the fact that they're going to do the job right to the best of their ability. And if anything goes wrong, they're going to own up to that as well and make that right. So I think, I could go on and on about what makes SGC special, but I think on the whole, that's probably what I'm most proud of.
And another thing you've grabbed headlines on this year is the specials you've done around certain products. I know I think the special is going on still right now for Bowman. Is that right?
That's correct. We're currently running a 2022 and 2023 Bowman special, and that's just a straight $9 a card. You could give us the 1-of-1 Superfractor worth $20,000, and it's going to cost you $9 to grade it. We love these specials. Our community loves these specials. And I think more than anything, it's a way for us to, in a sense, almost give to the hobby. Something like that really doesn't exist when you take in all factors into account. And I think to provide collectors with a 5.5 business day turnaround time for $9 a card, it really almost incentivizes everyone to go look for those Bowman cards, even if they don't currently possess them in their collection.
Yeah, that's super cool. So switching gears a little bit, there's been some big news this last week in the hobby about the sale of a 1914 Babe Ruth rookie card. That card sold for $7.2 million on REA auctions. And it's in an SGC holder. And what I find interesting about that is the Hannes Wagner card, which sold for $7.25 million last year, SGC holder. And then, of course, the Mickey Mantle card, which is the #1 highest selling card of all time, which sold for $12.6 million last year in an SGC 9.5. So we now have the top selling sports cards in history in SGC holders.
Yeah, it's a massive accomplishment. It's something that our entire team is extremely proud of. And I think it speaks to the trust, especially when you look at a card like that Mantle. For example, if that card was given an SGC 4, let's just say, the value is incredibly different than in an SGC 9.5. In other words, when you're given a card like the Baltimore News Babe Ruth, the rarity of the card itself, that's what, for the most part, creates the value there. We're merely the authenticators and the graders on the condition of that card. But when it comes to the Mantle 9.5, a collector paid $12.6 million because SGC and their group of experts basically assessed the card and clearly liked what they saw by awarding a 9.5 grade. So as I said, I think it speaks volumes to the trust that the community has in our expertise.
Yeah, that's pretty wild. That's super impressive. So SGC obviously has been known for a long time in the vintage area. More recently, I think the push has been with ultra modern, and obviously you've been doing the specials and everything like that, which has really ramped up the ultra modern business for you guys. What do you see going forward? What do you see? Are you placing more and more focus on ultra modern? Is vintage still a lot of where the focus is, or what do you want the future to look like for SGC?
I think something that I'm very happy to say is that as SGC has made tremendous inroads in modern, and man, if you were around the hobby back in 2019, 2020, you've seen just how much SGC has grown in the modern space. But I think what means a lot to me personally is the fact that we've grown so much in vintage, where we were kind of already such a juggernaut name in the industry as far as notoriety and trust, like I was saying. So I think what's really special to me is the fact that when we make these so-called pushes, it's not at the behest of anything else that we've already accomplished or any of the work that's already been done in other areas. So I think that as we've grown in modern, it really excites me that our vintage strength is snowballing. I mean, we are really at a better place than we've been over the last 25 years as far as that's gone. And if you look at our gem rate numbers, we graded 18,000 TCG cards last month. And that number may not be where we want it right now, and it may still, dwarf in size in comparison to some of our competitors. However, 18,000 TCG cards is 3 times higher than the 6,000 we were grading only a few months ago. So again, I think it's really important that as we make these these pushes into certain areas that we're maintaining and growing as well, kind of our strengths.
Yeah, no, for sure. That's super exciting, and certainly the TCG growth is exciting as well. And you also launched a new app a few months ago, right? What was that all about?
We did. So we launched the first ever SGC mobile app. It took a little longer than we wanted because we really wanted to make sure that we got a few things right on the nose when we released it. It still has some improvements to be made to it, no doubt about that. But the app basically makes submitting as seamless as submitting cards to a grading company could really possibly be. We've actually joked internally about putting out some kind of promotional video where we're timing someone kind of send in a 10 card order on the app, and it takes, no more than 5 minutes. It's really a breeze. And in addition to that, it really offers collectors kind of an easy route to our cert lookup, which is vital, obviously, to, security. And whenever buying a card, you want to check on that, as well as a cool My Cards feature where you can kind of, take your collection everywhere, inserting your SGC cards in your collection kind of in the app itself.
Awesome. Well, that's exciting, Peter. I'm looking forward to all of that. Innovation continuing next year. I'm sure you got a lot of big things on the horizon that we'll find out about soon. But for now, hope your year ends well, and happy holidays to you.
Thank you, Jeff. I am greatly looking forward to next year, and I appreciate you having me. Happy holidays.
Happy holidays. Hi, how's it going?
What's going on, man? How are you?
What's up? The magic of live television right here. It's great to see you, sir. How have you been?
I've been good. It's good to see you. You look really good in purple. My goodness.
Thank you. Thank you. It's actually kind of blue, but our color balancing is probably not right tonight. So it probably looks a little purple, but it's supposed to be Sports Card Investor blue. But I appreciate it. Now, are you back in Idaho tonight, or are you traveling the world somewhere else hunting for cardboard?
We're in Idaho right now. Yep. We're a little bummed because we got snow. We got about a foot of snow a couple days ago, and then it went to like 35 degrees, and now it's all rain. All the snow's melting on the mountain. The ski resort closed down, so we're upset.
Oh no, the ski resort closed down. That's no good. This is supposed to be when the time of the year that the ski resort is building up right now.
I know, right?
Yeah, for real. Well, I think a lot of people watching our stream tonight have probably come across Chasing Cardboard on YouTube. You probably got a lot of fans in the chat tonight, people who enjoy the episodes like I do. But for people maybe who aren't familiar, tell them a little more about Chasing Cardboard and what you've been up to this year.
Yeah, so think of American Pickers for sports cards. We travel the world and we uncover all the cool things hiding in closets and garages that we all dream about unpacking. And we do that live, and we tell people stories in the process. So we're 38 episodes deep. We got 3 more. We got a really cool one coming out this week, but we just take you along the journey with us. That's what we do.
It's a really cool show, and one thing that impresses me about it is your episodes are long. You put a lot of production value into this. I mean, it really plays like a show you would expect to see on Netflix or on a TV network. It's like a full story. A lot of effort goes into it.
Yeah, you're exactly right. And we have arguably, well, I think, the best producer in the sports card industry, Matt Coleman, who does a magnificent job with everything. We have a good crew that goes on the road with us, and yeah, it's produced to be on TV. That's the way we approached it. So hopefully, I'm glad to hear you say that. Thank you for that.
So you're 38 episodes in, or you will be with the launch of this next one, right? What's your favorite moment as you look back across all 38 episodes?
Oh boy, that's a good question. There's a lot of good ones. A lot of times we walk into these collections and someone has passed away, and we get the opportunity to go through cards with them and seeing the family kind of remember their dad or their grandpa, their brother, as we unpack cards. We've had multiple moments where just people get emotional thinking about the times they sat on the living room floor going through these cards together. And it becomes more than just a purchase. It becomes an opportunity to really tell their story through cards. So there's a lot of those moments, and I could point to probably 5 or 6 of them where we got emotional too. We just had to step back and say, oh my gosh, cards really are powerful.
They are powerful. They create a connection between family members, as you said. I mean, being able to do cards like with my own sons is like a really special thing for sure. And, I lost my mom about 5 years ago now, and I have memories, with her when it comes to my card collecting. She herself wasn't into cards, but she supported my card habit tremendously when I was a kid. My first job ever was at a sports card shop in Sarasota, Florida, and my mom drove me, because I was 14 years old, right? So I couldn't drive. So my mom drove me to my first day of work. And I just have so many memories of her taking me to the 7-Eleven or the drugstore to be able to buy packs of cards. And so it is this like family thing. And it's cool how you uncover those stories on your show.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. You realize real quickly that a lot of times, even the old souls, right? The guys that were collecting back in the 60s and 70s, all the way up through now, there's a lot of guys who did not care what they were worth, right? And that it's so cool to connect with a guy who looked at a card and said, I don't really care what this card's worth. Unfortunately, that meant they didn't put it in a penny sleeve in a top loader, but there was significant personal value of that card, not monetary value. That's a neat thing to find, and it's harder to find these days.
Yeah, no, I agree for sure. What would you say? So the act of going on the road and going out and seeing all of these collections everywhere, you've been doing a lot of buying and then selling through this. What do you think you've learned the most about that process?
I would say, and we get this question a lot, like, hey, how can we do what you do? And I would say the number one thing that we've learned is your reputation is extremely important. The best deals we've come across have been through word of mouth because we treated somebody right. They passed on our name to somebody else. And so honesty, going above and beyond to make someone feel good, like that is more important most of the time than negotiating 10 more percent. So I would say treat people right and it'll come back. Karma will come back and you'll be glad that you did. But also I would say, take care of your cards. Encourage people to take care of the cards. We find so much stuff. We're like, oh my goodness, if you would have just stuck that in a top loader or put that even in a binder, things would have been a whole lot more better, more valuable for you. But you can't go back and change those things in the past.
Yeah. Your history with cards. So people know you for chasing cardboard, but you've done a lot of different entrepreneurial things within the sports card world for a while. You started Bench Clear Media, and you before that had started your Breaker Culture podcast, and have done various things over the years. What is it about your background and history with cards that kind of led you down this pathway of wanting to do Chasing Cardboard?
I love cards first and foremost. I love cards. I love spending time with cards. I love that my kids are in cards, similar to you, right? Spending evening going through cards with my kids is the best part of the hobby to me. But I also love asking questions and telling people stories. And so when Matt Coleman approached me and said, hey, let's blend your two passions and create this project, it made perfect sense because I'd already been spending so much time in it anyway. Why not go on the road and uncover things with collectors? So good history, came together at the right time. So hard to complain about that.
Very cool. And if you could only go back to one spot in the US to go chase more cardboard, what would that spot be?
Oh man. I'll go back to my favorite episode, and it would have been in West Virginia with a gentleman named Harlan and his family. The dad had died, and we were pulling stuff out of the basement, Babe Ruth's, Mantles, Cobb's, Gehrig's, and it was just so emotional, obviously so valuable too, but not just the collection, but that whole area with the American history and everything involved around it. Just a cool spot. I wish I could go spend another week there and just go talk to other people because I'm sure there's a lot of cool collections in that area.
There you go. Awesome. All right, Ty, well, tell everyone how they can find your show and find you if they haven't already.
Yeah, just go to YouTube, type Chasing Cardboard, and you'll see us there. Same social handles on Twitter and Instagram as well. But appreciate you having us on tonight, Jeff.
Absolutely, Ty. Great to see you. Happy holidays, sir.
You too.
Hey, Dustin, how's it going?
I am hanging on by a thread, man. I got home last night at midnight, flying back from New Orleans after watching Detroit go up by 21, and then we come all the way back, and we fell apart at the end. It was a tough one.
I'm sorry to hear that, Dustin. I'm also sorry about how my Falcons had to treat your Saints a couple of weeks ago as well. I know that, may not have made for the happiest Thanksgiving for you either.
Yeah, thanks for those texts too, by the way. Just kind of rubbing it in, just digging. I'm still knife out of my back.
What do you think of the NFC South? I mean, we've got.
It's obviously. It's clearly.
It's quite the division. I mean, the Falcons, the Saints, the Panthers, and the Bucks. It is hard to think about 4 more just outstanding teams in the NFL than those 4 this season.
Yeah, it's really odd because every year we kind of say, oh, well, it's kind of a bumbling division. But usually in the NFL, there's a lot of parity to where there are teams that break out. But the NFC South over the last few years just has not done that. This has been the same story for a few years now where we're all sitting at, 8-8 or whatever, trying to get a playoff spot. It's weird.
Yeah, I know. It's going to be a little attrition, a war of attrition here in the NFC South this year. I don't know. Before we go a little further, Dustin, there's some people in the chat saying, when do you get to see the cards? When are we dealing all the cards? That's going to start taking place on Whatnot here in a little while. So we're going to cut from YouTube over to Whatnot in about 30 minutes, and that's when we're going to start doing the cards as well as a whole bunch more giveaways. Lots of cards for sale tonight. And by the way, some incredible prices on wax tonight. We're doing 50% off Absolute Football Blasters. Absolute Football Blasters, $15 tonight over on Whatnot. So we're going to cut over there here in about a half an hour. But before we do that, you got some big news. You are almost at 20,000 YouTube subscribers on the Sports Card Dad YouTube.
We're almost there. We're army crawling our way. We've just kind of steadily been, I don't want to get to where it's just we're getting like 1,000 new subscribers a day. I kind of like this where we have to earn it, So it's, we're kind of dinking and dunking, kind of like Derek Carr throwing the ball down the field. And yeah, we are almost there. So if there's 188 folks out there that check out the channel, you like it, would appreciate the subscription. That'd be great.
Oh, let's see if we can get Dustin. It would be a very holiday Christmassy thing to do to get Dustin to 20,000 YouTube subscribers tonight. All it takes is just a moment. Kelly, can we put a link to Sports Card Dad's YouTube in the YouTube chat? She's going to have to go find that, but we're going to see if we can get that in the YouTube chat in a minute so that people can click the link and click subscribe, and we're going to see if we can get you to 20,000 subscribers here during the show tonight. And for people who aren't familiar with your YouTube, you cover a lot of current events in the hobby. You're very quick to react to things. You cover what other content creators are doing. Tell everyone a little more about your channel.
It's just a fun extension of my hobby experience. And I started going back to March of 2020, watching channels like yours and really enjoying the commentary part of the sports card hobby that I felt like there just wasn't enough. I was like, man, I wish that people were talking about this, that, or the other thing. And so that's where I started just making content that I wanted to see. And then, just kind of went from there. And I just really enjoy making it. And, it's been a fun journey.
There you go. And by the way, we just got the link up. It's in the YouTube chat. So go click the link in the YouTube chat. That will take you to Dustin's page. Give him a subscribe. Give him, and then come back here. Don't linger over there for too long and watch videos. You can do that after Dustin goes off, after the show's over today. But at least go give him a subscribe right now so we can get Dustin over 20,000 subscribers.
Yeah, no pressure. I'm a dad of 4, and it's tough. And Jeff, you can attest to this. It's tough for your kids to think you're cool. And 20,000, I said, look, by the end of the year, guys, I'm going to get to 20,000. They're like, well, Dad, there's a lot riding on it. We'll see how cool you actually are. So your entire household
is dependent upon this, guys. Help his kids out. Help Dustin's family out. Go click the link to Dustin's YouTube, hit subscribe, get him to 20,000, and you're going to enjoy it as well. First of all, it's free to subscribe, obviously, but Dustin puts out a lot of nice content. How has your content evolved now that you've been a YouTuber for a few years? You've been doing, content really every day. How has your content evolved over time?
I think it's a fun challenge to find content that you enjoy making, but that also the audience wants to watch, because that's always kind of the tricky thing is if you're going to be consistent making content, you have to enjoy it or you'll end up stopping, because it's just not something that you can keep doing. unless you do really enjoy it. So it's been fun as the years have gone on. And I know for you, it's similar to where you kind of start off doing one thing, you try different things. And that's what's kind of fun. It's my creative outlet. I'm not a very creative person, artistic person. So this is kind of my creative way or my creative outlet, I guess.
Yeah, it's fun. It's great. And I encourage everybody to make content. I encourage everyone to do it, because even if, not many people watch it, or even if you don't care about people watching it, it's the process of going through and putting your thoughts together and creating content and creating a video. You get so much from it. I mean, it helps you organize your thoughts. It helps you prepare. It's great public speaking training. And it's fun when people watch it and people comment and people have something to say. And I mean, I enjoyed doing the content as much when I was first starting and had like 80 subscribers as I do today. It's fun, it's just kind of a fun thing to do. So I think, so I'm going to get a little philosophical here. So I think one of the greatest things.
Can I react to this tomorrow? This will be tomorrow's reaction video. Go ahead.
Yes, you can react. By the way, are you at 20K? Brooklyn Classics. By the way, shout out Brooklyn Classics. Great guy in the hobby. Take a look. Still at 19.9K. Okay, we're getting Dustin close to 20,000 YouTube subscribers here.
Wow, that was quick. We got about 80 to go.
Okay, we got about 80 more to go still. All right, so we got a nice bump here for Dustin. We got about 100 new subscribers for Dustin, but we still have 80 to go. So go click the subscribe button and we'll get him to 20K. So here's my little philosophical thing, right? YouTube and social media are the democratization of content creation in America and in the world. It used to be, if you rewind the clock 20 years ago, it would be absolutely impossible for you or for me to want to share our views and opinions about something and establish a large following of people who watch and interact with us. That was extremely difficult to do. There was, there was a limited number of TV stations. They were all controlled by big networks. There was no social media. There was no way to put your own viewpoint into the world and have other people listen to your viewpoint unless you were one of the lucky few who got onto, a sports network or got a big writing job for a big newspaper or something like that. Unless you were one of the lucky few, you couldn't get out there. Now, with the advent of YouTube, with the advent of Instagram, TikTok, with the world of creators, anybody can put their view out to the world and can build audience and can share thoughts and beliefs, and anybody can follow who they want to follow. I think it's a wonderful thing, and I know there's all kinds of downside as well. People are going to point out downside with social media and everything, but overall, I think the democratization of content is an amazing thing for the world. And I think, people like you who hustle every single day and put content out, you benefit from it.
Yeah, and it goes, I mean, you kind of nailed it. I mean, my son and I watch, all sorts of video game channels, and it's incredible. You put together a high production team, but there's a lot of folks out there that are, they put there's a handful of guys out there that are just great at graphic design or whatever, and they can put together a really cool YouTube channel on any subject. And you can't just click on your cable TV and find this stuff. So it's cool. It's kind of an endless feed into all these different topics. I agree.
All right, I am just informed in my ear, Dustin, by our producer, Kelly, that your YouTube channel has officially hit 20,000 subscribers.
Right. Well, that means I have to make a purchase at the new store here at Culture Collision. I'll be there at Culture Collision, so I'll make sure to run by the store and make a purchase, pay you back.
There you go. Well, a special shout out to our audience, because it was our audience who did it tonight. We appreciate everybody watching the virtual holiday tonight, everybody tuning in. Hey, round of applause here for the audience tonight. This is good work, people. You made Dustin's holiday here. Congratulations, Dustin, on that happening.
Thanks, guys. I appreciate it. Thanks for having me on, Jeff.
Absolutely. Happy holidays, Dustin. See you soon.
All right. See you, man.
Stephanie.
Hey, Jeff. How are you?
I'm doing great. I'm in the holiday mood. I'm feeling festive. We're here in December. The holidays are around the corner. How are you?
I feel great. It's good to see you. It feels like we just did this last year. So just testament to how fast this year went. I don't know about you, but it went super fast for me.
The year has flown by for sure, and I'm sure your year has flown by because you have grown a lot. For everyone who doesn't know, Stephanie owns MamaBreaks, which is a great breaking company. You've hired employees, you've expanded. You even broke on the field at the All-Star game. You've had so much going on. What's this year been like for you and for MamaBreaks?
Definitely 100% a blessing. I've been grateful for every single moment of it. And I'm so grateful that I get to do something that I love every day. And I'm super excited to share new releases and cards with everyone. And I just really think this is the best hobby that there is. And I'm happy I get to keep doing it. So grateful for friendships like yours. And we haven't spoken in a while. And I'm excited to go visit in January at the end of the month for the Culture Collision show. I'll be there and super excited for next year now.
Our Cards HQ store, we are going to be opening our Cards HQ store for Culture Collision. We'll talk more about the Culture Collision show when Raphael comes on, but that's going to be the debut of the Cards HQ store. So you are going to be coming in for that.
I will be there.
Awesome.
Already have everything set up. I'm excited about it.
That is awesome. Well, we will love to have you there, Stephanie, and of course everyone out there watching as well. If you get a chance to come in, the Culture Collision show is January 26th through 29th here in Atlanta, and it happens to be right near where Cards HQ is, and we're rushing to the finish line to open for that, but we will get it done. Stephanie, what has been hot in breaking for you? What's hot right now?
Well, it's hard to say for me because I'm very niche. So I focus on the two things that I love the most, which is baseball and Star Wars, and it's just been an incredible year for both categories. I think there's been so much growth in even baseball just the past year. We're looking forward to Topps Inception releases tomorrow. We'll be breaking that all day long. And obviously the product we've been waiting all year for is Bowman Draft, where we're going to have Brady autos in, and that comes out next week. And the momentum hasn't stopped for baseball cards. It really hasn't, and it's just going to continue to grow. And I feel the exact same way about Star Wars cards. This year's the first year we ever have 7 running sets for top Star Wars trading cards, and this week probably the best set of them all finally releases after a year of waiting, 2022 Star Wars Masterwork. So wow. I'm super excited for that. I think it's a great time to be both a baseball and a Star Wars card collector.
What draws you to Star Wars cards and breaking Star Wars cards and collecting them in particular?
Definitely. So what got me into cards again was baseball cards. Obviously during the boom, sports cards were huge, and I was doing that. I knew Pokemon cards growing up, and I've always loved Star Wars. I mean, my dad loved Star Wars when I was growing up, and when the prequels came out, I was obsessed. And I had no idea Star Wars cards existed when I started doing this. And once I found my first card and I bought my first card, I was like, I'm doing this. I'm venturing in. And I actually I was already breaking basketball and football at the time, and I saw Leighton was doing Masterwork. 2021 Masterwork Star Wars breaks. I joined a couple. I was like, this is awesome. I think I can do this too. It was actually the first case break I ever did. Really? And I've been breaking Star Wars cards for about 2 years now, and it's probably the most fun I've had breaking.
That's awesome. Well, Z-Man Sports Card says in the YouTube chat that you are a one-of-one Star Wars mama. So I believe that's correct.
We actually in the history of MamaBreaks as a company right now, we have one of our biggest hits that Chris actually pulled this just now, about an hour ago. That's a Han Solo auto with Luke Skywalker. So Hamill and Harrison Ford on one card out of 5 is insane.
Yeah, that is about the best as it gets, I would imagine, for a Star Wars collector, right?
Yep.
That's incredible. And by the way, Stephanie, I don't know if you know this. You mentioned the Bowman Draft product that comes out next week from Topps, and that is the one that everybody is chasing because it's going to have the Tom Brady, Montreal Expos, jersey, autographs, that type of thing. That Topps has set the release date for that. I didn't get this until today, but I just got it. We'll see if you get this or not. Topps set the release day of it for next week on 12/12.
You right when you said it, I knew exactly what you were going to say.
You got it.
Yeah, now I get it. Yeah, that's awesome.
They set it for 12/12. I didn't even put 2 and 2 together. I saw it on the release calendar for December the 12th. I didn't put, but I'm like, oh, it's 12/12. They're literally releasing it intentionally as a little homage to Tom Brady. And I know that Topps is working on a lot of really big things for that day. It's going to be a really exciting release for that product. I think people are going to be blown away that day. There's going to be a lot of exciting stuff to come for sure. And so I guess you're going to be ripping it. I'm sure there's going to be breakers all over the country ripping it that day. Are you going to call your shot? Are you going to call that you're going to find one of these Tom Brady autos for one of your customers?
I absolutely will.
Well, I mean, you do. You get this special. You get all the loaded boxes. I've been watching YouTube, and I see that everyone on YouTube says that you get all the loaded boxes. So I'm sure you're going to get. I mean, there's something like 80 something Tom Brady autos in this product. So you probably what, at least 60 or 70 of them will I'm sure be shipped to you.
I'm sure Tom Brady would agree that you can't go into anything thinking that you're not going to win. And
That's
we're
right.
Win.
It's mindset. I like it. You see, that's why Stephanie gets all the big hits. It's all about mindset. That's awesome. That's awesome. All right, Stephanie, your best advice for a new breaker. So somebody who wants to get into breaking, maybe somebody watching tonight who's inspired by your story and they want to get into breaking. What is the best advice you would give them?
Absolutely go in with what you are most passionate about first. You know, there's nothing wrong with building your niche and just doing breaks in what you love the most, which whether it be baseball, Star Wars, UFC, even there's a ton of opportunities in the smaller categories too. Just go with what you're passionate with and build your community, and then it all works out after that. You continue, as long as you have the mindset of taking care of your people in your community, you'd be really surprised at how fast you can grow and how much, more importantly, how much fun you have doing it. It needs to be fun.
Yeah, that's awesome. You got to do something you love, right? And when I watch you and the breaks that you do and the social media content you put out, it's apparent that you love this stuff, and it's got to be fun to have built an entire business around something you love.
Yep, it definitely is. Thank you.
Awesome. All right, so if you're curious about Stephanie's backstory, if you want to learn more about Stephanie and how she went from being a teacher, a school teacher, to having her own growing breaking business, I did an interview with Stephanie on the Jeff Wilson Show on YouTube a few months ago. You got to go check that out. Search for MamaBreaks, Jeff Wilson Show, and you'll find the video. It's a good watch at some point. And Stephanie, for people who might be interested in following you or joining one of your breaks, how can they find out more about you? How can they connect with you?
You can definitely find me on any channel, whether it be Facebook, Twitter, or even my website, mamabreakscards.live. But I'm mostly, if you want to keep up with me, on Instagram at MamaBreaks.
Awesome. And final thing, I think you got a box that we're giving away tonight, right? Tell us about this.
Yeah, this is 2022 Topps Star Wars Chrome Black. There's some pretty amazing Superfractor autos still live in this, and I want to give this away to one of you to let you know how much we love Star Wars here, and we would love to have you in one of our streams one day. Every Friday, Star Wars Friday, we rip Star Wars cards.
That is awesome. All right. If whoever wins that, are they going to get one of your Topps cards as well? One of your autographed Topps cards?
If they absolutely want one, for sure. I don't assume people want those things, but I could definitely do that.
I'm sure they would absolutely love it. Awesome. Well, guys, if you want to win the box that Stephanie is giving away, just fill out that giveaway form that's pinned to the top of the YouTube chat. We're going to be giving away Stephanie's box as well as a ton of other prizes here in about an hour. So that will be part of our overall giveaway tonight. So make sure you are entered. Stephanie, thank you so much, and happy holidays to you.
Thank you, Jeff. Happy holidays, and happy holidays to everybody watching. Thank you.